Still you, after everything. Still you, through the tears, through the laughter, through the dreams we're chasing after. If I had one life to live, I'd give it all to you. Still you, in every lifetime. Still you, and if God gave me the choice to hear 1,000 different voices, I know yours in a heartbeat, and I'll choose you.
We saved over $10,000 when we're planning our wedding, and these are the 3 things we did differently to be able to achieve that. We're going to give you like a step-by-step process on how we went about planning our wedding. If that sounds like what you are interested in, please keep watching. We are both Nigerians and we are both Igbo, and one thing you would realize is that in Nigeria now, wedding has gone beyond that solemn ceremony that people who are in love that want to start a family come together and bring their families together, their loved ones together, and actually start a family. It's now a battle of trends. Whose wedding is more flamboyant, whose wedding is going to trend more, whose wedding is going to shut down the internet. And while there is nothing wrong with any of those, it is also very important that when you're planning your wedding that you are aware of what you want, so that you don't fall into that rat race where you are so obsessed with meeting up with a certain trend or a certain standard that you don't even know who set. So we had that consciousness because we had the quality of wedding we wanted to do. We knew the things that were like negotiables and non-negotiables for us, and were able to work with it. We had our desired wedding and still saved over $10,000. The first thing we did is that we trusted God for provision. When we wrote down the things we needed to do, we applied the biblical principle that says what? Write the vision, make it plain. So in our planner, what we wrote is the Great Kate Affair, which was our hashtag, and we wrote what? A union sponsored by Jehovah Jireh. Not Jireh, it is Jireh. Is it Jireh or Jireh?
Okay, spell B-A.
It's Jireh.
So it's spell baby. I did Lord.
B-A-B-Y, baby. And we wrote it down, Habakkuk 2:2, which says what? And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Thank you, Jesus, for how far you've brought us. So we just attached that. So that was the first thing we did. And looking back, babe, it was not our money that did that wedding. It was God that provided. I know he provided through men, but it was God every step of the way. Every step of the way, God provided, because a lot was involved. We planned our wedding in less than 6 months. So there was no way we could have raised that amount of money in less than 6 months. It was God that provided. So that's the first thing we did. We handed everything over to God, prayed about it, and applied biblical principles. The second thing we did is that we had a wedding planner / tracker. When we were planning our wedding, my husband was getting overwhelmed. First of all, I think I was someone that always told myself that I'm not going to use a wedding planner. For me, I felt like if I was going to use a wedding planner, I have to use like the best of the best that will make me see why I should use a wedding planner. Because if what you're telling me is to link me up with vendors, to call vendors for me, blah, 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 you're still going to ask for my input. You're still going to ask me to join the meeting. So what's the point using a wedding planner? So I scrapped out that and said I was going to plan my wedding myself. And that was kind of crazy because I was not in Nigeria. Do you get, like, so it didn't even make sense that I'm planning my wedding myself and I'm not in Nigeria. So thanks to my mom, that also really, really helped out. And thanks to my amazing sisters and also to some of my friends, especially Winifred. She really, really came through for me that period. I am grateful to all of those. So I didn't use an event planner. So when we realized that we were not going to use an event planner, we had to write down everything that we were going to be needing for that wedding. And we wrote down the things that were going to cost us. We wrote down hall, wedding gown, decoration, food, photography, videography, cake, makeup for both trad and wedding, because there were 2 separate ceremonies, outfits and accessories. Outfits and accessories was my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my mom, my father, which is my brother, my husband's outfits. That's our outfits, both my outfit and his outfit. Though I wrote wedding gown separately apart from other outfits. Then Ashwebi and many other things. Then DJ, I wanted the live band. Then MC, accommodation, transportation, miscellaneous, hair and styling, printing, that's for printing of the wedding invitation cards, jotter, that's souvenir, and even the program booklet. We wrote down all those things and attached prices to it, and every day we prayed about it. After writing it down, we also prioritized the things that we needed to do. So babe, how do you think we prioritized?
Yeah, so I think it was using that money for that thing. So don't wait till it piles up to you.
Yes.
So once the money come in, use it for that thing. So that one is sorted out and it's marked on the paper.
Yeah. So we had a section, we had deliverables, total price paid, price balance, then status. So status is like, is it paid? Is it pending? Yeah, I think I will share it. Is it paid? Is it pending? Is it unpaid? So for the paid ones, we highlighted with what? Green. The pending, yellow, and the unpaid we highlighted with red. So pending was like the ones that we had made some commitments, but we hadn't finished paying. So that was how we went about it. So we don't prioritize. For example, one of the most important things you should sort out when you're planning a wedding is venue. You can't be talking about gele, like your gele and bead, when you've not paid for venue. So that's what I mean by so you have to sort out, okay, where am I even doing this wedding in the first place? So should be is this place. So we sorted that out. So all those things that are like very, very, very time bound, and some vendors that that you have to lock down before someone else books them. Exactly. So those are the things that we prioritize first. And for the ones where we could not make full payments, we made like part payments to show them that we are serious. So that's the second thing we did. Aside praying, we planned by having a planner and tracker. Then the next thing we did was prudence. We had to cut costs on a lot of things, and this is kind of the crux of the video, right? There were a lot of things that I realized. See, let me tell you something. If you're planning a wedding, as a girl, I feel like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think social media has this thing that now tells girls, oh, why are you thinking about marriage when you're still like a baby, blah, 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 blah. If you thought about marriage, you thought about marriage. There's nothing, nobody should make you feel guilty for that. So for me, there were things that I always knew as a young girl that I wanted on my wedding day. So that aside. But one thing you realize is that unless you are like extremely wealthy, like you don't know what to do with money, you don't have any need, like you have money that you're not using, when it's time to get married, you would have a dream wedding versus actual wedding. So sometimes that your dream wedding, you actually have to wake up from that dream. You might have dream vendors. Oh, I want Kelechi Amadiobi. Oh, in your dream wedding, is Kelechi Amadiobi that is a photographer, or there's this guy I really admire his work. Bedge, is it Bedge Pictures? I think it's in. I don't know. I think it's based in Abuja.
Something in George Okoro.
There's not George Okoro. I also like George Okoro, but one guy I know that if I wanted to go out like Bedge, I don't know. Like he's so good. So there's dream wedding and there is reality. When you see what your finances are as a couple, you should know your tax bracket and know the kind of wedding you plan. So sometimes your tax bracket should wake you up from that dream you've been having all your life, and you now face reality. That delulu, Jesus. For example, I had a makeup artist I always decided I was going to use, but by the time I was getting married, she had relocated from my town where I was getting married. So using her meant I was going to fly her into the town. And what did that mean? I was going to pay for her flight ticket to and fro. I was going to pay for her airport while she's coming. That's when she's leaving her house and getting to the airport in her city. Then when she gets to Owerri Airport, which is like the closest airport to my state, Abia State, and I have to accommodate her, pay for her accommodation. I have to now pay for the makeup itself. Then when she's going, I still have to take care of her airport logistics. When I checked the cost of that, I had to wake up and told myself, no. By the time I checked the cost of it, it was hitting around like, it was in 7 figures. Let me just put it that way. I asked myself, is there a good alternative for this? Because someone like me, I'm not someone that anybody can make up. I don't like anybody touching my face. So, and I knew that I wanted my makeup to be on point. I was like, is there a good alternative for this? Thankfully, my younger sister, she also knows how to make up, but she didn't want to be my makeup artist. And I don't think I wanted her to be my makeup artist because she was my chief bridesmaid. She learned makeup from this person I'm talking about, right? So she was not like, okay, I was not just the one that learned from her. I also know someone else that learned from her that was even like my senior at the time that was coaching. So don't worry, I'm going to take care of your makeup. Just, let me just speak with this person. Do you know, by the time we spoke to her, the cost came down by like
80%,
60-70%. I don't think I want to mention the price we paid because I know she gave it to my sister because they were work colleagues, yes. And so so that people not go and start pricing her down. Like it came down, it was still 6 figures, right? But it came down significantly. So imagine I was still in that dream, my dream makeup artist, and I now went to spend all that money. It wouldn't have made sense. So, and I still got like a good makeup. So that's right. Then for wedding gown, I always wanted to use Lakari's bridals. But the day we went,
Paris in Abuja.
We went to their showroom in Abuja because I couldn't get into Lagos at the time. I know I came into Nigeria via Lagos, but I just picked the local flights down. Transit. It was like a transit. So I went to the showroom in Abuja, and I just at that point that was when I realized with my height and my body type and the kind of wedding gown I wanted, it was not even possible. And they told me that to rent that I had to like rent on special demand, and it was going to cost like 800k. I just asked myself, why will I rent a gown for 800,000 naira? Could I afford it? Yes. But did it make sense? No. I was like,
fly it down to
exactly. Then I'll fly down, and I had like one day. I didn't just want to be in that panic mode whereby 24 hours, 48 hours, your wedding gown is not there and the rest. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I had to like start making some research online. So a lot of persons were talking about Alibaba, which is actually where I think Lakaris buys their wedding gown from. So I was like, okay, even if I buy,
they say like that they make from scratch on demand, but
yeah, they make from scratch on demand, but they have suppliers. If you go to Alibaba, I think it's Alibaba. If I'm not so sure, but I think it's Alibaba. You know, they can make and ship to you. So I was planning to make, and they'll ship to me here in Saudi Arabia.
It's even easier.
Yeah, it's even easier. But on the long run, my sister was like, why not go to a Nigerian designer? And so I reached out to some Nigerian designers. Some of them, their prices were like in 7 figures. I was like, yo, I'm not sure I want to spend this amount on just wedding gown. I finally saw someone that made it for me, and it was even like half of the price that Lakaris told me to rent for. And now I have my wedding gown. If I want to sell it, I'll sell it. If I want to keep it, I'll keep it. So, and I'm still keeping it. I've not even sold it. So it's that way. I also cut cost. And that thing I cut cost on was decoration. Man, decoration people are moving mad. Yes, that was the cheapest.
That was for me.
I know it was expensive, but it was still. He's one of the cheapest. Like good cheapest. Do you get? And the thing is that I also capitalized on relationship because he did my sister's decor. We had referred him to many jobs, you know, so we knew him. So when I reached out to him, so he gave me a lot of this. Do you know that his colleagues that are still doing those kind of? Do you know how much they charge? Like times 3 or 4 of what he charges. They charge like times 3 or 4. So I know that maybe you want this one to be happening, bird to be flying in the air, all those things. If you have the money, please do it by all means. But if you do not, you do not have to. Just do something really good and decent and save money. The decoration vendor I use, even though that at some point we had some, you know, there's some things he didn't really get the way I wanted. But there's no guarantee that paying the other people times 3 would have even also gotten me like the exact thing I wanted. Yeah, I had some things that I wish he did better. We decided to go with him because even though his price was still high, it was still in 7 figures, but it was still cheaper than the other people that we checked out. Yeah, the other alternatives we had. So with respect to food, we also had the same thing, where we had to like get a vendor.
Food was expensive.
Food was really, really, really expensive. It was one of the most expensive things. It was one of the most expensive things, and it was like that because we decided to do 2. No, I'm not even talking about the number of meals. We decided to do 2 events.
Two separate events. Yes.
2 separate events.
One was on
the trad 17th.
19th.
Yes, and the trad was 17th, and wedding was now 19th. And even in the food, despite how much cost we cut, it was still super expensive. Yeah. You know, there was a time we were talking about it, so we're not like because there are people that do oba, roasted yam, roasted plantain, pepper soup, this one.
Varieties.
Well, like nothing like that. My husband, I just told him, don't worry, let me do the negotiation. I told Mama, we only want rice and swallow. Any other person, if you think we do not serve you well enough, go to your house.
Go back.
Go back. Go to your house and eat. When we are trying to, what's your menu like? I said, what's his menu? Share her rice and beans there.